Hello, and welcome back to the Cambridge English Walking Podcast. We are so happy you are practicing your English with us today. I am Slava.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for spending your time learning English with us. I am Victoria. We are here to help you speak English confidently through real, natural conversations.
Normally, we walk around the beautiful, historic streets of Cambridge, but today, the atmosphere is completely different. Look around us. We are actually in the capital city, London.
Exactly. And as you know, London is a massive city with many different areas. Today, we are not looking at old palaces or tourist spots. We are standing in one of the coolest and most modern business districts in the whole world. It is called Canary Wharf.
You are so right. For those who don't know, Canary Wharf is the main financial heart of London. Surrounded by these huge glass skyscrapers, you can really feel the fast pace of corporate life. Many of the biggest international banks, corporations, and IT companies have their offices right here.
So why are we here today? Well, Slava actually has to go into the office for work, and I decided to travel to London with him just for the company.
Yes, my company has a big office right here, and today I have some important face-to-face meetings. But Victoria, what are you going to do while I'm stuck inside an office all day?
Well, I am very lucky because my job allows me to work remotely. So instead of staying home in Cambridge, I decided to change my environment. While you go to your strict corporate office, I'm going to find a nice, cozy coffee shop right here in Canary Wharf, buy a big cappuccino, and work from my laptop.
That sounds amazing. Do you actually like working from coffee shops?
I love it. I usually work from home, and that is very comfortable. But sometimes working from home gets a little bit boring. You look at the same walls every single day. Changing locations is really interesting for me. A coffee shop has a nice atmosphere, the smell of fresh coffee, and some background noise. It really helps me focus.
That's funny. I'm completely the opposite. If I try to work in a coffee shop, I get too distracted. People are talking, the coffee machine is making loud noises. I can't concentrate at all.
Really? I guess everyone is different. But you know, even though I love working remotely, I do miss the office sometimes. Working from home can be a bit lonely. Going to the office means you get to see your colleagues, have real human interactions, and chat during lunch. That live communication is totally normal and very necessary.
I completely agree. That's why I'm actually excited to go into the office today. It's much easier to collaborate and share ideas when you are sitting in the same room with your team.
Speaking of offices, colleagues, and working, our location today is absolutely perfect for our English lesson.
You are so right, because today we are going to teach you essential office English. If you work in an office right now, or if you dream of working in an international company someday, this lesson is exactly what you need.
We are going to teach you around 100 of the most useful phrases for the workplace. You will learn how to greet your coworkers, how to ask for help, how to talk about deadlines, and how to communicate with your manager. This is practical English that you can literally use tomorrow at your job.
And guys, because we have so many great phrases for you today, you don't need to write them all down. We have created a free PDF companion guide for this video. You can download it using the link in the description, follow along with us, and use it as your personal cheat sheet at work.
So if you're ready to master office English, let's get started. Slava, let's imagine you just walked into your office building here in Canary Wharf. It's 9 a.m. What is the very first thing you say to your coworkers?
Well, the most common and polite thing to say is simply, "Good morning." Or if it's a more casual office, just "morning."
That is simple. What else can you add to be a little more friendly?
I usually ask, "How are you today?" or "How's it going?" It's important to remember that this is just a polite greeting. You don't need to give a 10-minute story about your personal life.
Exactly. If a colleague asks, "How's it going?" what is a good professional answer?
You can just say, "I'm pretty good, thanks. How about you?" Or, "I'm doing well, thank you." It keeps the conversation positive and professional.
Now, what if it is Monday morning? Mondays are a bit special in the office, right?
Oh, definitely. On Monday mornings, everyone asks the same question. How was your weekend? Or, did you have a good weekend?
I love that question. It shows that your colleagues care about you as a person, not just as a worker. How should I answer that if I want to be friendly?
You can say, "It was great, thanks. I relaxed at home." Or, "It was a bit busy, but good. Thanks for asking." And then it's very polite to ask them back. How about yours? Did you do anything fun?
What if I didn't do anything fun? What if I just cleaned my apartment and slept?
That is completely fine. You can just say, "It was pretty quiet, nothing special. How about yours?" It's just a nice way to make small talk before you start working.
Okay, so we said good morning and we talked about the weekend. What happens next? Everyone sits at their desks. What do you usually say?
Before I start working hard, I usually need some caffeine. So I might tell the person next to me, "I'm going to grab a coffee. Do you want one?"
Let's pause and explain the word grab. What does grab a coffee mean?
Good question. Grab literally means to take something quickly with your hand. But in office English, grab a coffee or grab some lunch is a very common, casual way to say, "Let's go get some coffee," or "Let's buy food quickly."
I use that phrase all the time. I'm going to grab a snack. It sounds very natural and native.
It does. And if your colleague says yes, you can get them a coffee. It's a great way to build good relationships at work. After I have my coffee, I sit down at my desk and I might say, "Let me get settled in."
Get settled in. What does that mean?
To get settled in means to prepare yourself to start working. You take off your coat, you turn on your computer, you put your notebook on the desk, you make yourself comfortable before you focus on work.
I see. So I arrive, get my coffee, and get settled in. And then the real work begins. What is the first work task for most office workers?
For almost everyone, the first thing you do is look at your computer. You might say, "I need to check my emails."
Yes, or you might say, let me see what messages I have.
Exactly. Sometimes, if I have not checked my computer since Friday, I might have a huge amount of messages. I could say, "I have a lot of emails to go through."
Let's explain that. What does it mean to go through your emails?
Go through means to read and check things one by one, carefully. You don't just look at the screen, you open the first email, read it, maybe answer it, then open the second email. You are going through them.
That is a very useful phrasal verb. You can go through emails, go through documents, or go through a report.
Right. Now, sometimes your computer is slow or something is broken. In an office, you need to know how to talk about basic problems. What if you sit at your desk but your computer doesn't turn on?
You can ask a colleague for help. You could say, "My computer is acting up," or simply, "My computer is not working."
What does acting up mean?
If a machine or a computer is acting up, it means it is not working correctly. It is doing strange things or freezing. It's a very common phrase. You can also say, "The printer is acting up."
That happens a lot in offices. If you are new, you might also need to ask about passwords. You could say, "Could you tell me the Wi-Fi password?" Or, "How do I log into the system?"
Log in means to enter your username and password to open your computer or a website.
Exactly. So now we are logged in, we have our coffee, and we are going through our emails. We are officially working.
Okay, so you are at your desk in your Canary Wharf office. You have your coffee, you checked your emails, but now you realize you need to speak with your manager or your boss.
Right, and this can be a little bit stressful, especially if you are new to the company. Your boss is probably a very busy person.
Exactly. So, how do you start that conversation? If you walk up to your manager's desk, what is a polite way to get their attention?
You shouldn't just start talking immediately. First, you should ask if they have time. You can say, "Do you have a minute?" Or, "Can I talk to you about something?"
Those are great. But what if they look extremely busy? They are typing fast and looking at their screen.
If they look really busy, it is very polite to say, "Sorry to bother you, but," and then ask your question.
Let's stop and explain the word bother. What does bother mean?
To bother someone means to interrupt them or disturb them when they are doing something else. So when you say, "Sorry to bother you," you are showing respect. You are saying, "I know you were busy, and I am sorry for interrupting."
That is a very professional phrase. Okay, let's imagine your boss says, "Yes, I have a minute. What do you need?" How do you explain that you need help with a project?
I usually say, "I have a question about the project." Or if I need them to explain something better, I can say, "Could you clarify something for me?"
Clarify. That sounds very advanced. What does it mean?
Clarify simply means to make something clear. If instructions are confusing, you ask someone to clarify them. It's much better to ask for clarification than to make a big mistake.
I completely agree. Sometimes managers give you a new task and you just don't understand what they want. It happens to me too. What can I say if I don't understand?
Never pretend that you understand. You should honestly say, "I'm not sure I understand." Or you can politely ask, "Could you explain that again?"
Those are very helpful phrases. I know some people feel shy about asking questions because they don't want to look stupid.
But asking questions makes you look professional. Another great trick is to repeat what the boss said. You can use the phrase, "Just to confirm, you want me to," and then you say what you need to do.
Oh, I love that. Just to confirm. It shows that you are listening carefully and checking your understanding.
Exactly. Now, the most important part of any task is time. You need to know when the task must be finished. How do you ask about that?
I would ask, when is this due?
Due. D-U-E. What does that mean?
Due means the exact time or day when you must finish your work and give it to your boss. So if your boss says it is due on Friday, you must finish it by Friday.
You can also ask, what is the deadline for this? A deadline is the same thing, the final time to finish a project.
Perfect. So we survived the conversation with the boss. Now, when you work in a business district like this, you know that inside all these corporate buildings, people are constantly having meetings.
Oh yes, meetings. Office life is full of meetings. Whether you are working in the office, like me today, or working remotely from a coffee shop like you will have to join meetings, maybe on Zoom or Skype.
That is true. Even from my cozy coffee shop, I have 2 Zoom meetings today. So let's learn some phrases for organizing and participating in meetings. How do you invite someone to a meeting?
You can send a message and say, "Let's schedule a meeting." Or, to be more specific, "Can we meet tomorrow at 2 p.m.?"
And what if I am busy at 2 p.m.? I can't just say no, that is rude.
Right. A polite, professional way to say no is, "I'm not available at that time." Or you can say, "I have a conflict at 2 p.m."
Let's explain conflict. Usually, a conflict means an argument or a fight between people. Does it mean I am fighting with someone at 2 p.m.?
No. In office English, a scheduling conflict just means you already have another meeting or another plan at that exact same time. It's a very polite excuse.
Got it. So if I have a conflict, I should suggest a new time. I could ask, could we meet at 3 p.m. instead?
Yes. And if 3 p.m. is good for me, I will answer, "Yes, that works for me."
Okay, so it is 3 p.m. and the meeting starts. During the meeting, you might need to tell your colleagues about your work. What is a good phrase to start?
You can say, I'd like to share an update on the project. An update is just new information about your progress.
What if someone else is talking, but you really need to say something? How do you interrupt politely without being rude?
That can be tricky. You should wait for a small pause and say, sorry to interrupt, but... Or you can say, can I just add something here?
Those are great. And what about agreeing with people? If my colleague suggests a brilliant idea, I want to support them.
You can use a simple phrase like, I agree with that. Or you can say, that's a great point. Or, I think that's a good idea. It's always nice to hear that in a meeting.
But sometimes we don't agree. Sometimes we think an idea is bad. How do I disagree diplomatically? I can't just say, you are wrong.
Definitely don't say you are wrong. In professional settings, you have to be respectful. You can say, I see your point, but, and then explain your idea.
I like that. I see your point. It means I understand you, but I have a different opinion.
You can also literally say, I have a different opinion. Or if you want to suggest something else, use the phrase, have you considered, and offer your alternative idea.
Have you considered trying this new software, for example?
Exactly. Now, meetings can sometimes last a very long time. Eventually, they need to finish. What do people usually say at the end of a meeting?
Usually, the manager will say, let's wrap this up.
What does wrap up mean? Like wrapping a gift in paper?
Very similar. To wrap up is a very common phrasal verb that simply means to finish. So, let's wrap this up means let's finish this meeting. They might also ask, does anyone have any questions before we end?
And before everyone leaves the room or closes Zoom, you will probably hear my favorite office phrase. Let's touch base next week.
Oh, everybody says that. Let's touch base. It means to connect or communicate again briefly, just to check on the progress.
Exactly. You don't need a long meeting, just a quick update. I'll touch base with you on Friday.
Well, Slava, we just survived an entire office meeting in English, but the workday is not over yet.
Being in a business environment always reminds you of the fast pace of corporate life. It is a very busy world.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of busy, I am already on my second cappuccino in my cafe. It is delicious. But you know, Slava, office life isn't just about drinking coffee and sitting in meetings. You actually have to do some real work with your colleagues.
Very true. And sometimes you need help. Or sometimes a colleague asks you help when you are already super busy.
Oh, I hate when that happens. Let's do a quick role play for our students. Slava, imagine I'm your annoying colleague. You're looking at your computer, you're very stressed, and I walk up to you.
Okay, I'm acting stressed. Go ahead.
Hey, Slava. Hi. Could you help me with this huge Excel report right now? It will only take 3 hours.
Oh no, Victoria, I would love to help, but I'm in the middle of something right now.
Cut. That was perfect. I'm in the middle of something. What a great, polite phrase.
Yes, it means you are actively working on a task and you cannot stop. But let's do the role play again. What if I'm not just busy? What if I am having a terrible day and I have 10 reports to write? Ask me again.
Slava, can you do my work for me?
Slava, I'm swamped at the moment, so no, I can't.
Let's teach our students this amazing word, swamped. S-W-A-M-P-E-D. A swamp is a wet, muddy place in the forest where crocodiles live, right?
Exactly. Imagine you're standing in a dirty swamp and the water is up to your neck. That's how you feel when you have too much work. You're drowning in work. So when you say, I'm swamped, everybody understands that you are 100% busy.
It is a very natural office expression. You can say, I'm swamped with work today, or I'm really swamped this week. But to be polite to your colleague, you should add one more phrase. Can it wait until this afternoon?
Perfect. It means I can't help you now, but I will help you later.
All right, let's be nice colleagues now. No more swamps. What if I actually want to work together with you on a new project? How do I suggest that?
You can simply ask, would you like to work together on this? Or a very popular corporate phrase is, let's team up for this.
Team up, meaning let's become a team. I like that. And after we team up and I finish my half of the work, I can say, I've completed my part. Or to make it sound very casual, my part is done.
Excellent. Now, Victoria, let's do another role play. Imagine you just finished writing a very important email to a client, but your English isn't perfect, and you want me to check it. What do you say?
I would say, could you review this and give me feedback? Or, to make it shorter, let me know what you think.
And there's one more great word. You could say, I'd appreciate your input.
Input, like putting something in? What does it mean?
Input means someone's ideas, opinions, or advice. When you ask for input, you're basically saying, please give me your professional opinion.
And when you finally give me your opinion, I will say, thanks for your input, or I appreciate your feedback.
Exactly. Now, speaking of checking things, in a busy place like this, you always see people rushing around. Sometimes they look like they're late for a very important deadline.
Oh, deadlines. The scariest word in the office. A deadline is the time when your work must be finished. I have a confession, Slava. Sometimes when I am working from my cozy coffee shop, I drink too much coffee, I get distracted, and I forget about my tasks. What should I say if I am late for a deadline? Should I just hide under the table?
No, do not hide under the table. In the professional world, honesty is the best policy. Don't wait until the deadline passes. Tell your boss early. You can say, I'm running behind on this.
Running behind? Does it mean I am physically running behind my boss?
No. To be running behind means you're behind schedule. You're not making progress fast enough. It's an honest way to say, I'm a little bit late.
Okay, so I say, boss, I'm running behind, but I still need more time to finish the work. What is the magic phrase to get more time?
The magic phrase is, I need an extension on the deadline. An extension means extra time. So if the deadline is Friday and you ask for an extension, maybe the boss will move it to Monday.
Wow, I need an extension. I will definitely write that one down. Okay, Slava, let's talk about the most common thing people do in offices all over the world, writing emails.
Oh yes, email has its own special language. When we speak to colleagues, we're casual, but when we type an email, suddenly everyone becomes a British lord from the 19th century.
It's so true. How do you start a formal email to a client?
The most classic, safe phrase to start any professional email is, I hope this email finds you well.
Finds you well. It sounds like the email is a detective looking for the person. But yes, it just means, I hope you are healthy and happy. Now, what if I sent an email to a client last week and they completely ignored me? They didn't answer. I'm angry, but I need to be polite.
This happens all the time. Do not write, why aren't you answering? Instead, you write, I'm following up on my previous email.
Following up. We use this phrasal verb everywhere. To follow up means to check the status of something or continue a conversation that already started.
You can also just say, just following up to see if you had a chance to read this. It's a very polite way to remind them about yourself.
What if I need to send a document, like a PDF guide? For example, our students will download our free PDF guide today. But in an office, how do I attach a file?
You upload the file, and in the text you write, please find attached the document, or I have attached the report for your review.
And finally, how do you finish an email? You can't just write bye.
No, bye is too casual. If you want them to answer you, you write, looking forward to your reply. And then, right before your name, you type, best regards or kind regards.
Best regards. Sounds very professional. Slava, I think we have written the perfect email. Let's hit send and move on.
Ah, the art of saying no in the office. This is a very important skill. You can't just reply and say, "No, I won't do it." That is a great way to lose your job.
True. So how do we say no politely, like true British professionals?
You should start with an apology. You can say, "Unfortunately, I won't be able to do this." Or a very classic phrase is, "I'm afraid I can't."
I'm afraid I can't. It doesn't mean you are scared of a ghost. It just means I'm sorry, but it's impossible.
Exactly. And if you want to sound very smart and corporate, you can use this phrase, "I don't have the capacity to take this on right now."
Capacity. Oh, I love that word. Let's explain it. Usually, capacity means how much water a bottle can hold, or how many people can fit in a room. But what does it mean for office workers?
In the office, your capacity is your time and energy. If you say, "I don't have capacity," it means your glass is already full. You're already doing too much work and you cannot take one more task. It's a very polite and professional excuse.
I will definitely use that. Now, what about real problems? Imagine you are working on a project and something goes terribly wrong. You broke the database or you lost a document. You have to tell the boss.
Oh, my hands are sweating just thinking about it. When you need to report a problem, don't panic. Stay calm and use phrases like, "We have a problem with the system," or "There's an issue with the report." Issue is just a nicer, softer word for problem.
And if you're talking to your big boss, the CEO of the company, you can use a very formal phrase. I'd like to bring something to your attention.
Yes, that sounds like a movie. I'd like to bring something to your attention. And what if the problem was actually your fault? How do you apologize? Can you just say, "Oops, my bad"?
Definitely do not say my bad to the CEO. You need to sound mature and responsible. You can say, I apologize for the confusion, or I apologize for the delay.
And if it was a big mistake, you say, "I take full responsibility for this mistake." Bosses really respect an employee who can admit their mistakes and take responsibility. Plus, you can add, "I will make sure this doesn't happen again."
That is perfect. Honesty and responsibility. Okay, enough about problems and mistakes. Let's talk about the good things. Sometimes your colleagues do amazing work, and it is so important to support them.
Absolutely. Praising your colleagues builds a great team atmosphere. If your colleague makes a great presentation, you can simply say, "Great job on the presentation," or "You did excellent work on this."
My favorite phrase to praise someone is, thanks for going above and beyond.
Going above and beyond. What does it mean for a person to go above and beyond? Well, above means higher than normal.
It means doing much more than what was expected. For example, if your job is to write a short report, but you write a beautiful, long report with charts and pictures, you went above and beyond. It means you put in maximum effort.
It is a wonderful compliment to receive. All right, Victoria. We have solved problems, we have praised our colleagues, and eventually it's time for the best part of the day.
Lunch break, finally! Around 1 p.m., you always see hundreds of office workers coming down from the skyscrapers to get food. How do you invite a colleague to lunch?
You can ask, "Do you want to grab lunch?" Remember that word, grab? It means to get food quickly. Or you can say, "Are you free for lunch?"
And what if you are going alone, but you want to tell your team? You say, I'm heading to lunch. I'll be back in an hour.
Perfect. Now let's fast forward the time. It is 5:30 p.m. The workday is officially over. How do people say goodbye in the office?
The most common phrase is, I'm heading out. See you tomorrow.
Heading out just means leaving the building.
Or you can say, have a good evening. And on Friday, of course, everyone smiles and says, have a great weekend.
But wait, Slava, you are an important man working in Canary Watch today. Are you sure you're going home at 5:30, or do you have more work to do?
Unfortunately, Victoria, you're right. My project is not finished. I think I have to say the saddest office phrase of all. I need to work overtime tonight.
Oh no, overtime. Over the normal time. So if your hours are 9 to 5 and you work until 8 p.m., those 3 hours are overtime.
Yes, exactly. I will be sitting in the office working overtime while you finish your cappuccino and go for a nice walk in London.
That's the beauty of working remotely. But don't worry, Slava. I will wait for you. And for our amazing students, that brings us to the end of our lesson today.
Wow, we covered so much today. From morning greetings to meetings, emails, and working overtime.
We hope you enjoyed this lesson as much as we did. Remember, do not try to memorize all these phrases right now. Go to the description, click the link, and download your free PDF companion guide. It has all the phrases, examples, and space for your own notes.
And now it is time for our favorite part of the video. We want to hear from you. Learning English is a two-way street. So, here is our question of the day.
Here is our question of the day. What is the most common phrase you use at your job? Or what is your favorite phrase from today's lesson? Go down to the comments right now and write, I often say, and tell us the phrase and why you use it. For example, I often say, let's touch base, because I like short meetings. Or, I often say, I'm swamped, because I always have too much work.
We read every single comment, and writing your answer is the best way to practice your English today. Don't be shy, leave a comment below. Thank you so much for walking with us today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you never miss our next walking podcast. Keep learning, keep practicing, and don't worry if you make mistakes. Every mistake is a step towards success.
Have a brilliant day, evening, or night wherever you are in the world. Keep your chin up, and we will see you in the next video.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.